It's WTA prediction time for 2026. We're going to be giving our top 10 predictions and the 4 Grand Slams, plus a special GTL wildcard, a player outside the top 100. Sit back, get ready, and enjoy.
That's right, we are back again. It's been a little bit of a break between the men's predictions and the women's ones. JG has been away on holiday, enjoying himself, and probably planning this women's predictions. Were you there on holiday, just sitting, really thinking hard about it? And now you should have the best predictions we've ever seen on the women's side, surely, from you this year.
Well, actually, I was reading all the comments coming through from the men's video asking us, why did we not speak about Felix? And why did neither of us not have Felix inside our top 10? We know that that was not a very popular decision we both took. And I think we should have spoken about it. So let's briefly speak about it now, because not having Felix inside the top 10, I think, is a big call, especially how we ended the year. The reason why I didn't put him in there is it's just a very unlucky case for him. I've got him in the same bracket as maybe a Casper Ruud, just missing out. I think he's going to be on the cuffs, very close, and potentially not pulling off so many great results as what he did this year on the indoor hard courts. I think maybe he could lose a few of them events earlier on, and that's where he relies on picking up his points. So I've gone with that logic. It's a bit of a punt. I'm not saying anything dismissive on Felix. I think he's a fantastic player. I just wanted to tackle that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. You can only put 10 players in there, and he just didn't make the cut, unfortunately. I think he needs to prove himself the full year round, not just at the end of the year, before I can really consider him as being in my top 10. I know he made the top 10 this year, and people will say, come on, look how dominant he was towards
And he
the
was
end of
fifth.
the year. Yeah, but that still wasn't enough for me based upon some of the other players who I like the look of. I think I wanted to shake it up a little bit. I went Kaboli, and I really would like to see Draper doing a lot better this year as well. And there's got Shelton, you got Djokovic, got loads of other players in there. I think you got to take somebody out. I obviously took Musetti out. No one calling me out for that. They were calling me out for Felix. So,
Well, there was we should have spoken about it, definitely. So apologies for not bringing his name up, because it is a big omission from the top 10, and I can see why everyone, 90% of the people in the comment section have Felix in there.
Wow.
So let's see how we all get on. Let's talk about the women's, because that's what we're here to do. I did do some tinkering. I've not changed my top 10, but I have changed my wild card player, because obviously we written down to do before my holiday. I've been able to now change the wild card, the outside the top 100 player, and I'm a lot happier with this one. I think it's a real winner. I've got a lot to say about her, but let's save that for the end of the video. Make sure, if you are watching, to leave your comments and give us your top 10. It's always good to look back in a year's time to see how you got on. And if you edit it, we can see.
Exactly. Yeah, don't edit those comments. We want to see at the end of the year who got the most right. And as in the same fashion we did the men's, we'll be going through the top 10 back to front first. And then we'll be giving our slam predictions for the women's, and then finishing off with the wild card. That's right. So let's start off, with number 10. I went first last time on the men's with number 10. So let's start with your number 10.
Okay, I've gone for Jasmine Paolini as number 10.
Ooh,
slipping down a little bit. I think I did very well to call her there or thereabouts. I don't know if it was exact or very close. You'll have to remind me of the last video.
Might be exact.
I think I had her very much where she finished.
Yeah.
I think she's going to drop a little bit down from that, but I think she's got enough quality to remain inside the top 10. This would be, for me, her last year inside the top 10. After this year, I do not see her being able to maintain this, and I think she will fall away a little bit, and other players are going to replace her. This is like her final hurrah. So where usually we have like a young player getting inside the top 10, or for the men's, I had a Fonseca breaking in and finishing there. I've gone for a different logic here on the women's, and I've got someone who has been a mainstay in the top 10 for the last 2 years, who I think is just going to be able to maintain that level and then fall out in the next few years.
Okay. Yeah, maybe slightly harsh, but I understand the reasoning. But you still kept her in there, and I think that's the Italian in you that's just keeping her afloat in
I
the
want to
top
know if you've
10.
got her in there, because you never have her inside your top 10. I don't think in any video ever.
True, I didn't. But this is where it all gets interesting in the women's, because I think people are more entitled to have a little bit of a punt on the women's tour, because you get some random ones in there. Obviously, no one had Anisimova in their top 10. And if you did, then well done to you. Or Alexandrova either into the top 10 of this year in 2025. 2026, I think we're going to see some moves and some shakes from somebody we know rather well. And they've been plying their trade quite consistently for the first time, I'd say, since 2021 in 2025. And I think Emma Raducanu is going to finish inside the top 10
Oh, don't
in
be silly, Ben. You're
2026.
just joking. Give us the real one.
No, that's it. I was really impressed by the way she played last year. She finished the year in number 29 in the world, which I think, credit to her, that shows consistency throughout the whole year. She managed to get to a quarterfinal of a Masters. She got to the third round of 3 of the slams. So if she goes a bit deeper in the slams, potentially we could see her with a good finish. Maybe she wins a WTA title in 2026, and that will hopefully see her inside the top 10.
So, what part of watching her last year did you find impressive?
I just,
I'm looking at her record last year. 28 match. She won 28 matches and
yeah,
lost 22 matches. The
she
year
did.
before, she won 23, lost 13. So she was better statistically in 2024 than what she was in 2025. Neither is much to shout home about. The reason her ranking was so high was because she got into these big events and managed to get through a few rounds by having nice draws. The US
Well,
Open, she beat Shiba Hara and then Tien, and then lost to the moment she gets challenged, loses 6-1, 6-2. I don't know if you're being serious, because for me, Raducanu inside the top 10, I think there's no chance.
I'm going for it because I was encouraged by her performances. She beat the likes of Naomi Osaka in Washington this year, beating players like Kostyuk. When she was in Miami, she had a very good run in Miami. She beat Anisimova straight sets there, if you remember, beat Navarro, lost in 3 to Pegula.
Are you expecting her to go far in a Grand Slam then?
I'm expecting progression. Like, I don't, because that's what I'm seeing from her at the moment. Is not we're not going to see the finished product by any means, but we might see a few fourth rounds, maybe see one quarter final or something like that. But I'm not expecting her to go to the final or anything. But I think we'll see her get one stage further in a few other tournaments, maybe a few more quarterfinals, maybe a couple of semi-finals. Maybe she'll win a 250 or 2. I don't know. But
Will she play enough?
I think that we're going to see a gradual growth. I think this year was a real good sign. The one thing that you pointed out was she played more matches this year, which was a real positive because she didn't pick up more
True.
injuries. She actually finished the year quite well, I think. She didn't finish well with the actual results, but I think actually playing the full year, that's what we wanted from her. So let's hope we get a good Raducanu start to the year at the Australian Open, and then it'll set us off running nicely for this little, I think it's a bit of a pipe dream, but I thought I'd put it in there as well because I know it riles you up a bit.
I just don't see it happening, but fair play. Let's wait and see. For me, at number 9, I've gone for a new addition to the top 10, and that is
Ooh.
Linda Noskova from the Czech Republic.
Ooh.
21 years old. She finished in 13, I believe. Um, we've already spoken about her many times. I think she is a
Yeah.
really good player who has big results in there. She's got the ability. We've seen her play against Iga and beat her. Was it at Wimbledon a few years back? We've seen her have some big results. I thought the one in Beijing recently against Pegula was impressive because Pegula was in a good bit of form. And yeah, I think there's a really good player in there who has ability at the best level. I don't think we've seen it necessarily at Grand Slams yet. We've seen her do quite well in the lower events. I think she's got more to give in them bigger events like the Grand Slams, like your Masters events. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see her get really deep, maybe to a final of a few Masters or win some. Really good player and young, someone I can get behind. I like her. I think she's got a good chance of being inside the top 10. We've been speaking about her for many years on the podcast now. I know we did a few matches of hers. We've got her button. And I think this is her moment this year.
Quite possibly. A very good young player on the tour. Number 9 for me is actually going to be dropping down, but I think still has proven herself at the top level in 2025. And that's Amanda Anisimova. I think we'll see her deep in events again this year. I don't think it will be to the same level as 2025 because she made 2 slam finals. But I still think she'll be there or thereabouts beating some big players, maybe even grabbing 500 event here and there. But yeah, number 9, Anisimova.
Number 8, and this may surprise you. I've gone for, do you want to have a guess? Someone who could surprise you. Who do you think I would put in?
Towson?
No. Naomi Osaka. I've got her way inside my top 10 this year. Last year, I didn't have her in there at all. The year before, I did have her inside my top 10 in 10th, and she just collapsed and didn't play very well. Lost some big matches. I don't know. I feel like this year she could be better. I'm expecting better from her. She was very close to the top 10 this year. And I've seen an interview where she says how much she's enjoying her tennis at the moment. I think in her off-court, in her personal life, it's been a bit turbulent these last few years with her relationships and a new baby and everything else going on and so many pressures. I feel like she's maybe overcome some of them problems. And I think she's a little bit more zoned in and focused on the tennis. I loved all the boo-boos, all the stuff happening. Was it the US Open, the different dolls, the different tennis player names she had? I forget them now. There was an Agassi one and all the others.
Yep, you're right.
I think she's ready. This is her moment. She's going to be a top 10 player next year, Ben.
Love to hear it. There's some great passion from JG there. On to my number 8 and starring for the first time in my top 10. It's Jasmine Paolini. There you go. I said that if she proved herself again, then I would have to put her in my top 10. She's done it 2 years running, and I can't deny that she is one of the best women on tour. So that's why she goes in there.
The funny thing is, this is going to be the year she's going to be on the cusp of not making the top 10.
She's going
I'm telling you, she's going to be very close. It's going to be a battle, I think, for her to keep in the top 10. So I find it quite comical that you've put her in there.
25. She's going to now.
You've really ruined their chances. Number 7.
Possibly. Go on.
I'm going for someone who remained inside the top 10, but I was expecting to be a lot higher. And that is Mira Andreeva. We've seen some injury concerns. She is still extremely young. I'm going to guess 18, 17, 18 years old. 18. And she started the year so strong. She won, what was it? She won some Masters titles.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, back-to-back. She was really good and then struggled a lot physically, I think, more than anything. Mentally as well, we've seen her crying a lot on court this year. She's 18 years old or 17 for spells of last year. And it's going to take some time, but I think her class and her ability, it would be rude, I think, to ever consider a season without her inside the top 10 because her level and ability alone is a top 10 player. And you'd think she's only going to get better. It wouldn't surprise me if we do see her drop outside the top 10 in these next few years. But then I think she'll come back, and then it's going to take her some time. She's not like a ready-made Carlos Alcaraz who's going to be there at the top. But some of the results we've seen is right up there with a Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner. Like, she's done some really big things already at such a young age. So I think, yeah, you have to always consider her for a top 10 spot.
I think that's yeah. I echo everything you've just said there, and I had a finish in top 5 last year. She didn't quite make it to those heights. I think she finished at 7 last year, maybe even lower, was it? But
9th she finished.
9th. There you go. So even lower. Number 7 for me. I think you've sort of taken the sting out of one of mine, but maybe it makes mine look even more risque. I've gone for Naomi Osaka
No
to finish
way.
at number
How weird.
7. She
For the
finished
record, people, we've not actually seen each other's at all. We're doing it all
Nope.
live right now.
Yep. Semi-finals at the US Open, I was really impressed. And the fact she got to the final of the Canadian Open as well, the back end of the year was, it's recency bias to a point, but we know how good she is on hard courts, and especially at hard court slams. So if she continues that into Australia, and then in that small hard court swing at the start of the year, even into Indian Wells, Miami, I think she could be like a mainstay already in the top 10 come the clay court, which she doesn't really like, but she did great against Iga at Roland Garros, despite not being a great clay court player. Who knows? I think it's a great pick because when she's in form, she's nearly unbeatable on some surfaces.
Agreed. I'm just super surprised you've gone so big on her. I really
Well,
thought that you wouldn't have her inside your top 10.
there you go. Full of surprises. So number 6, JG. Who do you have? We're getting close to the top 5.
Someone who you didn't have in your top 10 a few years back. Can you remember?
Fernandez.
Jessica Pegula.
Oh yeah,
You
good old.
famously left her out in a big year. I think she finished 4th that year, maybe.
Probably normally does.
Just, there's not much to say about Pegula. There really isn't. She's just better. She's better than a lot of players on tour, but just not as good as the top players. And I think consistency-wise, she is relatively consistent, and she's going to go throughout a season picking up some big results. She can get to a Grand Slam final on the hard courts. She can maybe win one. I think it is possible on the women's tour. We saw last year how well all of the American ladies played, and I think they kind of overshadowed Jessica Pegula a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the ranking of 6. I think that is exactly where she finished as well, 6th.
Yeah, I mean, last year, 2025, some great results, but no real big tournament wins. That was the thing for Pegula, so that's what sort of let her down. Number 6 for me, I don't want to be repeating the things that JG have said. We're going to see some similar names, obviously, coming in the top 10. I'm going for Mila Andreeva in at number 6 for me. I think that she will improve on 2025 because she's ever evolving.
Okay, number 5, I'm going for Anisimova. I'm keeping her relatively high up inside the top 10. I think she was the most impressive American for sure. And seeing her lose that final to Iga and then bounce back and beat Iga in, what was it, the US Open or then one of the other tournaments later on in the year.
Yeah.
I feel like my brain's fried with all the tournaments, but I know it happened. She got revenge after that Wimbledon loss to Iga, beat Iga. Incredible, because I really didn't think mentally she was able to do that. And I think technically she's always been fantastic. But that mental resolve to come back and beat Iga after losing in embarrassing fashion, I think for me holds her in a really high regard. And I am going to be cheering her on. I like her. And I'm big on Amanda Anisimova to keep where she's at pretty much. And I think a top 5 finish would be phenomenal.
Yeah. Back, second half of the year, she was incredible. Got to 2 slam finals. Obviously got to the semi-finals of the WTA finals. China Open champion as well. Well done to her. Long may she stay there. And I'm going to be sort of reversing your one. You're going number 6 Pegula. I'm going number 5 Pegula. So I'm having a slightly higher. I'm having a higher than Anisimova in 2026.
Okay, so the final 4, I'm assuming, will be an Iga, Saba, Coco, Gauff, Rybakina, them 4 in any
Who knows?
order, or have you
Who
left
knows?
any of them out? You're not going to
Who
let me know.
knows? Yeah, we'll find out. We will find out. So number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is Rybakina.
Okay, there we go. Straight in
So
there.
I'm having her replace Anisimova. My top 6, I guess, is relatively similar to what the top 6 is now in order. The difference is I just have a little bit of a move around. So Rybakina, I think, will be a little bit higher than Anisimova. I've already said, I think, really, on her day, she is as good as Iga and Sabalenka. It's just very
Fine
inconsistent
margins.
at times. She's inconsistent. So she's just things going on with the coach and off court and motivations here, there, and everywhere, and injuries. I just don't know sometimes what she's going to do. But the level she's got is up there with a Saba and Iga. I'm just kind of feeling she's going to be a little bit off it. So I'm going 4.
Okay. There you go. Rybakina a little bit off it. You heard it here first from JG. Somebody I think is not going to be that far off it, but is going to be still finishing in 4th. I'm going for Iga Swiatek to finish in number 4. Obviously, I think we pretty much know who the other 3 people are going to be here, but it's all just going to be down to how they perform probably in the slams. And I just feel that maybe the others are going to perform a little bit better than her this year.
So you got Rybakina in 3?
Correct. I'll put it in now for you.
Okay.
There you go. So who have you got in 3?
I've gone for Coco Gauff.
I knew you would.
You obviously, it's been a running theme, I guess, on the channel. Not at the start. At the start, I think I was bigger on Coco Gauff than you. But for the last 4 years, I feel like you've always gone higher with Gauff. She was famously last year, I think, your number 1 prediction.
Yeah.
Didn't go very well.
No.
I am very torn on her because obviously she is incredible and she can beat everyone. It's just I don't see her as like a top 2 candidate. I feel like Iga and Saba are just better than her.
I'm in denial a little bit with it. I'm just hoping that it all clicks because the one surface we haven't really seen from Coco Gauff yet is Wimbledon on the grass. And if she could put that together, I think that I'd probably have more confidence in her. I've obviously gone Rybakina at number 3. That's because I still feel that I still have certain reservations about her. I still think she's good enough to do well in big tournaments, even to win them. But I still feel that Coco Gauff, I'm going to give away, obviously, my number 1 now, but I'm having Coco Gauff as number 2, just based upon the fact that I don't think she's strong enough on the grass courts. And I think that Wimbledon is the one thing that sort of has been letting her down. You watch. Now I'm going to get pie all over my face when she does well at Wimbledon this year. But if it happens, so be it. And I'll be so happy if we get to see Coco Gauff actually do well at Wimbledon.
Yeah, what Sabalenka's done well last year is she got to all the finals of the slams.
Yeah.
Or not all
So
of them, but she
consistent.
went very, very deep in all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't get to the final of Wimbledon, did she? Because
no, it was Anisimova.
Anisimova, Iga, but
Yeah.
she went very deep, and I think she's been able to overcome losing them quarterfinal, semi-final matches she would have done in the past to lesser opposition. I think she's now started to beat them players who you'd expect her to beat. Of course, she's playing Kyrgios very soon, which I think is going to be interesting. Don't know how I feel about it, or whether I'm even going to watch it live. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how it goes. You'd expect Kyrgios to win, but let's wait and see. I am going to be having her as the world number 1, though. Definitely. I'm going Sabalenka. She cleared 10,000 points. very big gap really between her and Iga. What, almost 2,000 points, and I don't see her losing that spot. So yeah, as you can see, Iga makes up my number 2.
There you go. Well, I'm very interested to see now how these Grand Slam predictions play out based upon who we've got in the rankings.
We actually had very similar.
Not too far off, really. We've just got a
It's a
couple
big
of
Noskova Raducanu battle.
yeah. There's always one, isn't there? And Paolini, I'll be cheering on more this year to get a few more points. But yeah, I think Coco Gauff will be a bit of a differential there, and Anisimova, quite a clear one there. You've got to go in a lot higher than what I have. But Raducanu, if she makes it in there, I'll be coming back to gloat, I think, at the end of 2026. But let's wait and see on that.
Okay,
Right.
Grand Slam time.
Yes.
How about I do the first one, you do the second one first?
Okay.
So Australian Open, I'm going to be going for Sabalenka. It's a safe bet.
It is a safe bet, and that's why I've got Sabalenka
It's like the
as
sinner.
well.
It's like the sinner on the.
She
It's like
didn't win it last
Saba.
year though, but Madison Keys just had an inspired tournament.
Yeah.
French
Roland
Open.
Garros, I'm going back to basics. Oh, sorry, it's you, isn't it?
Back to basics sounds like exactly what I'm doing as well. Despite Coco Gauff winning it last year, I think Iga will win it this year.
Go on then, put me in for it.
There you go. We're both going with the same slam results for the first 2 slams. Coco Gauff, don't forget, she defeated Iga at Roland Garros last year. Well, Wimbledon, is this going to be where Iga comes good again, JG? Does she get back-to-back Wimbledon titles?
No, I'm going for Sabalenka.
Wow, there you go. So Sabalenka wins Wimbledon. That's massive. And I'm going for somebody to win their second Wimbledon. I think Rybakina is going to step
It's
up.
annoying because I was so close to doing that. I had her last year winning Wimbledon and she didn't do it because she lost to someone. Who was it? Who I was expecting her to beat.
She had a little bit of a off-court, I think, problems going on. So I think
it wasn't. It was that big tie break, wasn't it, against the Russian lady? I forget the name.
of her again, was it?
I think it was. It might have been.
No, surely not. I can't
Let me
remember
have a
off the
look.
top of my head.
I feel like it's a while ago now.
It was a while ago. It's hard to remember all of these stats. Right, let's have a look.
Find it.
Wimbledon third round, was it?
Who was it against?
Let me have a look. Rybakina. It was Towson. There you go.
Oh,
She
Towson.
lost. Yeah, so no disrespect, but Towson's pretty good. She finished just outside the top 10 herself. Surprised neither of us had Towson in the top 10. That could have been maybe a better one than Raducanu, some might say. But there you go. Last but not least, the US Open. We've had a back-to-back champion in Sabalenka at the US Open the last 2 years. Is it 3 in a row?
You can go first. I'm annoyed. I think we've got the same.
Yes, I'm saying 3 in a row for Sabalenka.
Okay, so you've played it very, very safe here with your Grand Slam predictions. I've not for the US Open. I famously go a bit wild, and I'm going for Naomi Osaka to roll back the years and win the US Open next year.
That would be cool. That would be a roller coaster ride, which I think everyone would love to see. Let's see what draw she has, because that would be all dependent, I think. Obviously, she knocked out Gauff, this year's one, had a fantastic tournament. But yeah, when you get to the back end of the tournament, you really need all of that energy. And does she still have all that energy, JG? That's the question.
Well, I'm going for her to win it, so...
Now we get onto the wild cards. This is where it gets interesting. We're going to have to tell you someone from outside the top 100 of the women's who is going to finish the highest. So we just have to try and beat each other. So they've got to finish hopefully inside the top 100, but the aim is to beat each other. That is the key here. And if you're playing at home, well, we're going to try and beat you as well. Can you beat us? And will you have picked the same player? This is the weird thing, because we don't know who each of us has picked. So if we pick the same player, we could be in trouble and one of us may have to re-pick. So, who's going to go first? I'm always interested to hear this one because it is always baffling who or where we find these players from.
I've been doing research. I've been
Oh,
on the canal in Porto, in Portugal, with a
oh,
port wine, some cheese, deliberating who I'm going to be picking for this, and I've changed it a few times. But I am very confident in who I've settled on. It was between two in the end, but the one I've decided for is, and apologies if I pronounce it wrong, it is
oh.
Hannah van der Winkel.
Uh,
And
what number in the world is she? And then that way I'll be. Oh, I can see her there. Hannah van der Winkel. There she is.
there we go. And I knew you'd love the first name because
Yeah,
it's just
of course,
beautiful.
of course.
Um,
Hannah van der Winkel. Right.
yeah,
So we've
she's
got
a
that. And
Belgian professional tennis player. She is 21 years old, and she's a fantastic tennis player. She
okay.
ended the year quite strong. She beat Sonmez, who I was really big on from Turkey. She also
Nice.
beat Ella Seidel from Germany in the Billie King Cup,
Ooh.
6-love, 6-4. I think she's a really good player. She won a challenger title. Let me bring that one
Ooh.
up. That was in Mexico, I believe. I did do quite a bit of research, but I don't have any notes.
That's fine. I don't think it's
No, she
going
didn't. Not
to
in. Sorry, it was in Tunisia. She
oh,
won.
close.
Actually, was it? I thought she won in Mexico. Sorry, let me have a look.
She did win in
I've got.
Mexico as well. She beat Brace in the final and Harriet Dart. She won the tournament
There we
in
go.
straight sets.
Yeah, and she beat a lot of players that event very easily. Mandlik 2-2.
Ooh.
She beat
Oof.
Dart 1-2. I think
Whoa.
there's a really good player in there. We've not seen it yet, so that's why it's so risky. There's
I
not
think
a
it's
big body of work, but she
you've got to
played
risk it though.
qualifiers of all of the Grand Slams last year, and in the US Open, she got to the third round of qualifying. So she's just on the cusp. She's ready. She's hungry. She's young. She's getting better. She's improving. And I don't see you beating her, Ben, because I've really studied it. And there's not many names who
We
sort of jump off the page.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, looking at the record, she's played a lot of tennis and she's, well, played, what is it, 78 matches in the year, 51 wins, 27 losses, a winning record on hardcourt and clay as well, which is
Yep.
impressive. So that's the one thing that we have in common. And we've both gone down the same sort of line for why we're picking our players. I look at the trajectory of your player as well, and it does read similar reading because you see the rankings here going up from
Yep.
600 to 300 to 200 to 126.
It's the
And
professional way. And I love that you've highlighted the hard and the clay because I think it's so important to have on the women's more so
multi-surf,
a player who can do all of the surfaces.
agreed. And I've gone down a similar route. I wouldn't say I've been looking at exactly who they've been beating. I've noticed that they have maybe won some lower level tournaments. They have been able to string some good runs together here and there, but it's more about the trajectory is what I've gone for. And the person that I've picked, you've probably even seen the name already. And but I'm going for somebody, a Spaniard, 19
Okay.
years old. Her name, Caitlin Quevedo. She's
No, I don't know her.
144 or 145 in the world at the moment. But hopefully, the trajectory, I'll show you the similar thing.
Caitlin.
She
I
she's
don't know much about her. She
two
slipped past me.
titles. The two titles in 2025, as you can see here, the trajectory.
I
She
do.
went from 734 to 302 to now 145. 20 wins and seven losses on hardcourt, 26 wins, 17 losses on clay, yet to play on the grass. But I think that there's encouraging signs there. And this is the reason that I was looking. It's very difficult to like pick out certain matches. I know that your player's probably beaten better opponents. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that I'd say from looking at her results. But I just looked at the fact that she's playing on multiple surfaces. She's been going deep in quite a few tournaments as well. She's won a couple of ITFs. It's a punt. A lot of these things are, but I'm happy with the pick, and I like the fact we both picked a young player who we can get behind. And I think it's a real battle. They're quite close in the ranking as well. Only 20 spaces between them. I think it's on, JG, a Spaniard versus a Belgian.
Yeah, it is a good battle. I agree. I don't think it's even 20, is it? Where's your
19,
lady?
145.
Okay, so yeah, it is pretty much 20. Not much in it at all. I do feel like my player has shown that she can beat better players. But it's very close. We don't know. There's not much body of work to go off. Like, neither of them have done any big wins at all. And
No.
both of them, you could make a claim for them not going anywhere next year. If anything, probably ending up lower than where they are. It is a real possibility looking at it, because it's a very much. It's not like last year with TN and Fonseca. I feel
It gets
like
tougher though. The more you go, get closer to that top 100, you're going to go into bigger tournaments. And you're going to get
sure.
more losses. That's the
With
problem.
Fonseca and TN, like, it was inevitable that it was going to be inside the top 100. I feel with these two, it just doesn't feel like that. Like, we don't know what's going to happen, but I do generally believe that one of us is going to do very well. But I like your one. I just like my one a little bit more. So good luck. And let us know in the comment section, which one do you think is a better women's wildcard prediction? I'm going to be watching some Hannah van der Winkel videos later on just to see how she's performing, hoping that the training's going well. But listen, she could be onto something big. It's got to be better than my one last year. She ended still outside the top 100.
Yeah, and another thing I think that we both have probably looked for as well is they're both sitting at career highs at the moment. And that's one thing that I looked at, and I was thinking, she's in the best form that she's been in. Your one's in the best form she's been in. They're entering the new year just outside the top 100, and they've got that in their sights. So I'm hoping they start the year strong, maybe have a qualification for a slam and get a few wins. Who knows? And they're both good on hard and clay. So we might see a good run for the first 4 or 5 months, just to see before the Wimbledon grass court swing picks up, and then you don't see them.
Did you see my player at all?
No. I mean, I've seen a lot of them, to be honest. I've been flicking through but I haven't been reviewing all of them with a fine tooth comb.
You've slept on the Van der Winkel, Ben. You've made a bit of a mistake there.
Well, there was one other name that I was going to pick, and I was just too scared about pronouncing it that I actually shied away from it, which is embarrassing, isn't it? But I was thinking of picking one of these players who's actually, I believe, played quite well from France. But yeah, I mean, I'll put the name on the screen, but keep an eye out for this player as well. See if you can have a go at home to pronounce the name, which is you can have a go at it. It is Tienzo Rakotomangaranjana. There you go, that one. So that was one I was thinking of as well, but I opted for maybe a slightly easier to pronounce name in Quevedo.
There we go. I've got a Spanish player for the men's. Ben's got one for the women's. Let us know who you've got at home. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And we're going to be back for some podcasts very soon. I think we're going to do like an end of year review. I want to speak about Carlos Alcaraz and his coach and everything there, because I've got a few conspiracy theories or ideas. And of course, we're going to be bringing back this year the Q&A Christmas stream. So please join us on Christmas Day for a live Q&A on the channel. We're going to schedule one in very soon and send some messages out. But it'll be great if you can send us some questions to answer.
Yeah, be a few other pieces of content from the UTS coming out very soon as well. Some fun short form content. Me playing mini table tennis against a few top ATP players, and a few questions about endurance as well.
There we go. See you soon.
See ya.